Alright guys, so today we're going to be talking about a couple of things. One of the things that I'm going to go over as a review for some of my younger students is how to draw a Y tree, what we call a Y tree, but we're actually just adding V's to create these branches. And for my older students, we've been practicing overlapping. So overlapping is when you make something look like it's behind another thing, or something looks like it's a little bit on top of. Now what I want everybody to also practice is this horizon line. So the horizon line is where the sky meets the ground. Everything should be filled in. So let's start with our tree. So I'm going to start all the way over here on the left hand side of my paper, almost like I'm going to be writing a sentence, right? So I'm going to start over here, and I'm going to start with the trunk of my tree, and I'm going to draw two lines because this is like the thickest part of the tree. It's the part that goes into the ground and supports everything above it. So I'm going to draw those two lines, and then in between I'm going to color it in. Go ahead and just color right in between those two lines all the way in. Don't want to leave too many blank spaces. And then at the top, when you're done with that, we're going to add the letter V. And it kind of looks like we're giving it an antenna. Now I know that some of my students have had some difficulty trying to do this next step, and that is we're going to go to the edge of your trunk and we're going to add another line. So these are what we call parallel lines. They don't intersect. They don't go on top of each other. They just go alongside each other like that. And so I'm going to go over to the other side of my trunk and I'm going to add another line. So here's where some people make a mistake. I have some students that will go ahead and they'll color in the V part. That is not what you want to be coloring in. What you want to color in are the branches, because we're kind of splitting the tree in two parts. So if you color in this V, it just makes your tree get bigger. And what we want to do is actually just make it taller. We're not making it thicker. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to the end of these branches that we created, and we're going to add some more V's. So I'm going to add a V. Looks like it has antenna. And I'm going to go to the other side. I'm going to add a V. And it's okay that you're going off the paper for this first one. Alright, so I'm going to go to the edge again, make that parallel line so they're not going to touch each other. And then I'm going to do another one on this side. See, I'm going to the edge of the branch and then going up. And now I'm going to color that in. Go ahead and color that in. So I'm going to do the same thing over here. Right, and then I'm going to color those in. Alright, so this is where things get a little bit easier. I'm going to get a little bit closer so you guys can see this a little bit better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the end of my branch and I'm going to add a V. Now if you're like me and you get this crayon starting to run out, you can just peel that paper off and it'll give you a little bit more. Okay, so I'm going to go to the end of my branch and I'm going to add another V. Okay, go to the end of the branch, add another V. Alright, and I'm going to keep doing that. So I'm going to go all the way to the end and add a V. All the way to the end and add a V. All the way to the end of this next one, add a V. Go all the way to the end, add a V. Go all the way to the end. I'm going to go off the paper. And then I've got one more right here. Now, if you want to end here, that's fine. But if you want to keep going, you can keep going to the ends of your branches and just make these little V's. And it just keeps making it taller and more detailed. Okay. Oh, that didn't quite connect. There we go. So, keep going. Alright. Now I don't want all my trees to look the same, so I do want to add another branch someplace. So I can have one here, I can have another one right here, or maybe one right there. I'm going to add one right here. I'm going to make it a little bit of a thick branch because it's near the bottom. And now I'm going to split that one in two. So remember we're going to do, oops, I forgot my V. There we go. And I can keep making that smaller. Or you go to the end of your branches, make that smaller. Okay, I'm okay with that. Now, what I do want you to, you can make your tree any color you want, but what I do want you to do is make sure that when you're drawing a tree, you're keeping it one color, so that my next one can be any color I want. I just need to make sure that the whole tree is the color that I choose. So I'm going to move over and I'm going to add another tree. So remember, I'm going to start with those two lines and I'm going to color in between those two lines. Okay. And now I'm going to add that V. I'm going to add those parallel lines. Remember, parallel lines are lines that don't cross. So I'm going to go all the way over here and I'm going to go up. Okay. Go all the way over here and I'm going to go up. See how those lines don't cross? Okay. Don't color in the middle of your V. You're going to color in the branches that you just created. Now, I'm going to get closer and closer to this tree, and when I get closer to this tree, we're going to do something called overlapping. So I'm going to keep going. I'm going to add my V's, my parallel lines, and color that in. Remember, you're not coloring in the V. Oh, I forgot the V first. There we go. I think I did that over there too. Okay. So now I'm getting closer to this tree. So I'm going to show you this really close up, and we're going to do something called stop and hop when we get close to the tree. So I'm going to start overlapping, and how I do that is I'm going to make a V, right? And it's going to stop when I get to that branch. I don't want to draw it over that branch. To keep going with this tree, to keep growing with it, you're going to stop and hop over the branch. Okay? I'm going to stop, hop over the branch. And then I can keep going, right? So I can do another V, I can do another one here, and then when I get closer to these little branches, I need to stop, hop, keep going, stop, hop. That's okay if they get long. Okay. So I'm going to do the same thing here. So I'm going to stop, hop, right? Stop, hop. And what you're going to see is that this purple tree now looks like it's behind the black tree because I've done that. So I'm going to keep going. I'm going to make my V's, kind of finish up my tree, add that extra branch so it doesn't look like all my other trees. Let's see, I'm going to back this up a little bit. Okay, we're back here. So I'm going to add another branch. Oh, it kind of looks like this one, doesn't it? Okay, maybe I'll add two branches to make it super different. Have a little one right there. Yeah, I like it. So a little bit different. Now, if you want to keep going, it looks really good if you go all the way across your paper with your trees. But just to save on time, I want to talk to you guys about this horizon line. So the horizon line is where the sky meets the ground. So your whole paper should be actually colored in except for anything that you would want to be white. For example, if you wanted a white cloud, then you leave the cloud white. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys how to draw a horizon line. So that is a line that starts all the way over here on the side of your paper. You're going to stop when you hit a tree or anything else you might have drawn, and you hop over and keep going. Stop, hop over, and keep going. So everything above this line is now the sky. For example, if I wanted to put a cloud in my sky, or maybe a little cloud, it's fine. What I don't want you to do is color in your clouds blue. You're going to color in the sky. So even if you wanted it to be a dark and gloomy sky, maybe you want to use a really dark color, that's fine. Or if you didn't want any clouds at all, that's fine. Maybe you want it raining, anything that you want. But you're going to color in the whole top of your paper. So for example, I'm going to color in everything up here. Like maybe you wanted to put a moon up here, so you wouldn't color that in blue necessarily, unless you wanted it to be a blue moon. But I'm going to color in absolutely all of my sky, all the way down to my horizon line. So everything gets colored in all the way down. And I'm going to kind of just go over my trees. I think the only way this wouldn't work is if you made a tree the same color as the sky. It might be hard to see that tree. So I'm going to color in everything all the way down to the ground so that my air goes all the way down to the ground. Now, everything below the sky is the ground. So if you left it white, it would kind of look like snow. But if you don't want it to be snow, and maybe you wanted to add some leaves or whatever you wanted onto your trees, you can make it maybe a spring picture. You can add anything you want on the ground. But everything below the horizon line is on the ground. If you put something above the horizon line, just know that's either going to look like it's flying or it's floating. And if you want that, that's fine, but just know that you're going to get that effect. It's going to look like that if you go above your horizon line. Anything will look like it's floating or flying. And I'm going to color in my whole ground. And again, if you wanted a challenge, you can go all the way across your paper with your trees. And this would be a review for my third graders. We've done something similar this year. We did kind of a snow picture with overlapping. My first graders drew trees at the beginning of the year, so you've practiced your trees. But some of my older students, if you guys did not do the third grade with me, then this might be new. This might be a good practice for you. So overlapping is a good challenge. And I hope you guys had a lot of fun today, and I will see you guys tomorrow.